last week we had looked at self-esteem, and today we'll be looking at insecurities. So in Nyanja we can say kudankawa. That's insecurities. Kudankawa, you are not just free, especially when it comes to job security. Like, you are not so free if maybe somebody will take over your job, or maybe you are seated, but then you feel as if you are seated on a pin. Like, you are not so comfortable because you don't know how safe your job is. And so today we'll be looking at insecurities, and the angle that we'll look at is job insecurities. So dear listeners, we encourage you that you come through and have your say on what we'll be looking at today. So to start with, how do you define insecurities, Corinne?
So when you're talking about insecurities, you're talking about somebody having anxiety about themselves. They feel they do not have enough confidence in themselves, and they are just not good enough. They feel inadequate as an individual in doing anything that they find themselves doing.
When we talk of insecurity at a personal level before it diverges to the job, most of the time it comes as a result of different things that we go through, right? And sometimes it could be because of the childhood that you encountered, the experience that you've had at a personal level, how you are treated by family, how your friends get to relate to you, and etc. So if people are not relating to you according to how you are stable emotionally, because the two relate to emotional stability, it simply means that somebody will start to lose self-confidence. And I think this is what we've tackled already. If you check our YouTube channel or our YouTube network, you'll definitely get to find things like self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, and whatnot. So if you are insecure, firstly at a personal level, you are not confident enough about certain things that you are doing. Now, when we come to job insecurities, it is basically not feeling safe at a place of work, in simpler terms, right? So you may feel or think that you are not doing as much as you are supposed to do, or you may feel and think that you are not delivering up to par or as you are expected to deliver. Okay, so job insecurities may also come as a result of maybe you're not fully qualified. Okay, maybe you are a HVS and then you just find yourself in this sort of opportunity and you are there on TV, and then later on there comes somebody who has a bachelor's of that particular job, so you tend to start feeling insecure. There's that anxiety. You feel like, okay, now this person that has come has more qualifications than I do, and maybe I won't even be able to stay on this job. I won't even deliver as much as I do. You start telling yourself that you can no longer do it because there's somebody who can do it better than you can. And sometimes it might not always be the case. I have seen people who have papers but cannot deliver as much as somebody who is talented can. But it is so unfortunate that because of this world and this generation that we are living in, people tend to feel insecure. Even when they see somebody talk, they're like, I think she can talk more than I can. I think she can do a better job more than I can. And because you tend to start feeding your mind with such thoughts, it is what you're going to experience, right? Because the mind communicates with the emotions. And then you just, bring yourself down, even if you are supposed to do a good job, because you are insecure. You'll just be there. You'll be now in a shell because you feel there's somebody who can do a better job than you can.
There are different issues that make people not to have these insecurities. Mm-hmm. Like Chibisa mentioned, sometimes maybe the way you are brought up, okay? If you are told that you're not good enough, sometimes you grow up knowing to say, I cannot do anything better. Okay, so even as you are delivering, as you are working, as you are in your new workplace, in as much as you can do it, just because you have that low self-esteem, like this is connected to having self-esteem. Just because you have this low self-esteem in you, you find that even if you know what to do, just because you have that negative thing in you telling you to say, negative voice that is telling you to say, no, you cannot do this, you cannot manage doing this. Even if you know what to do, just because you have that thing in you, you end up doing the wrong thing.
It's all about lack of self-confidence. You see, many other times that we don't get to believe in ourselves, and most of the times when we don't get to believe in ourselves, it leads one to poor work culture. Because at the end of the day, you always think what you are doing is not good enough, one to maybe run a productive workflow. So there are such issues that are coupled with it. One thing that should drive work is all about commitment, you see. But when somebody doesn't believe in themselves, you don't expect them to do that particular work, as opposed to one that has, that self-commitment and all that. Yes.
So when we look at the effects of job insecurities, like he said, they vary from person to person, right? It will lower your confidence. It will deteriorate how you deliver when you are at work, okay? It will also affect how you relate with people out there, okay? Even when you go back home, if you are insecure at your place of work, it will affect how you're going to relate with your relatives, your families, and friends at home. If I go for work, and it's a practical example, so if I go for work and I have a bad day at work, right? There's somebody who came to me and told me to say, you know what, you're not even qualified for this job. In fact, there's somebody who can come and do this better. My self-esteem will reduce, as Pauline had alluded earlier. My self-esteem will reduce and I will be sad. So even if I go out there, even if I go to the community back home, I'll still be feeling as though, there's somebody who can do it better than I can. And as a result, if I stand and look at myself in the mirror, the next I want to go for work, maybe I'll even pull out. I'll be like, no, there's somebody who can actually do a better job than I can. So most of the effects that come with job insecurities do not only affect how somebody will deliver the job, but it will also affect them at a personal level, because it will change how you interact with people. It will change how you interact with the community. It will change how you perform at your particular field of specialty. It's not every time that a qualified person can deliver accordingly, right? Of course, we accredit your degree that you have. We appreciate it. But there are some people who are talented in that particular field and can do a better job than you can. Okay, so it is very important to mind how we relate with people at our workplaces, because if you relate with somebody in a wrong or rude manner, it will affect how they will deliver, and then job insecurities now tend to affect themselves emotionally and also how they relate with the community.
And when you just join the government, it should be 3 months or so that you're being on observation, your supervisor is supervising, and then you're better than your supervisor. Then now you're afraid to say, if I do this, my supervisor won't give out the best out of me. So you have to try your level best to even hide things that that if you bring them out, they'll be able to help the organization. So it's really a very big effect on us, especially the youths. Yeah.
You might build a shop and then your friend comes and does the same thing. So examples of job insecurity could be if you're doing the same thing with another person who is close to you. Also, if you are not fully qualified for the job. Also, if you think that you make mistakes most of the time when you're working, you are given a glass, you break it. They give you a chance. Tomorrow you get another glass to serve as a waiter or waitress, you break another one. So insecurities now tend to come in because you are not delivering according to how you're supposed to deliver. Yeah, so I think those are the few very common examples of job insecurities, is when you are doing literally the same thing with somebody who is close to you, or when you have someone who is doing it better than you. If it's maybe selling, you have somebody who is selling the same dress as you are, you're selling it at 250, your friend is selling it at 100 kwacha. Okay, so obviously your friend is going to have more customers than you. And when you don't have full qualifications for a particular job, and then there comes somebody who has maybe a PhD or a master's in the field that you are doing that you don't even have a qualification for, so all those sort of different experiences that we go through may cause job insecurities.
So would love to find out what you are insecure about.
When I was doing my TP, I'm a teacher by profession. When I was doing my TP, I think that was 2015, somewhere there. I was really small, and then I had gone to a boys' school, and you are short, and then you're a secondary school teacher. Obviously, the boys are going to be taller than you. So the first time I went there, I was like, okay, it's a boys' school. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to manage. And then a week of being there, my supervisor calls me to say, we're coming to supervise you within a week. So I had that thing in me to say, am I really going to manage to teach these tall boys, these boys that look like, they're my elder brothers? Am I going to manage to do this? Okay. So with time, anyway, I managed to overcome that. Like, it's something that is so cool to me right now. But a long time ago, I used to have that feeling to say, maybe I'm not going to manage to do this. Maybe I'm inadequate, because of my height, because I'm a small body kind of a person. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
And body insecurities have come because of the exposure that we have received from the media, and also certain theories that we've been introduced to indirectly. We don't really see or pay attention to say this is what the media or what we are seeing on social media. By media, I mean any type of media that you're exposed to, right? Yes. So you might not really be able to notice or to observe that this thing is actually affecting you directly, because it is fused in us indirectly. If we watch fashion shows, okay, before it was the tiny girl. I think we can all remember. If a girl is tiny, then she is the girl, because that is the exposure that we received. And then those people who had chubby bodies and were overweight felt so insecure of how they looked, and it reduced their self-esteem. People started suffering from anorexia nervosa because of not taking enough food, wanting to lose weight, went on diets and whatever. And some people eventually had malnutrition because of wanting to lose the weight. And when you look at the current theory or the current trend on media, is the girl with a big butt, hips and a flat tummy. So if you don't have a flat tummy, you are not the girl, you get it, because you want to wear a crop top, you want to wear something that is exposing here and there. So because of these theories and the celebrities that we follow, the celebrities that we tend to see, people go to plastic surgeries just to remove the fat and whatever. So this really has caused insecurities, especially amongst the girls, okay, especially amongst the women. And it is funny, even the men would say, I prefer a girl with a flat tummy than a girl with, because this is what they've seen, and they feel to say this is it, this is the lady. If you are small, you even feel insecure to some extent. You're like, stay kiss. I think exactly. Because of the exposure that we have encountered in this generation. So really, I also feel that it is good to monitor what you expose yourself to, and it is good to also monitor the young generation, the people who are growing, right, to ensure that they don't get to expose themselves to certain things that will lower their self-esteem. Because had we not been exposed to this thing of the flat tummy is the girl, we would all be comfortable with how we look. Yeah, quite okay, not saying it is not bad to exercise and whatever and to maintain your weight, because you might end up being obese and whatnot, but it is because of how people have just amplified or exalted somebody with a certain particular kind of body and reduced or downgraded another person with a certain particular kind of body. Yeah.
What could be your best advice to somebody who's suffering from insecurity when it comes to job insecurity? What could be your advice?
The advice that I can give to somebody is be creative, improve on your skills, and then there can be layoffs at any time. Okay, so you need to plan for that day. That's what if I lose this job? What am I going to do? Start saving. Okay, people start panicking or having these job insecurities because maybe they do not have a saving plan. They do not have a financial saving plan. So before you lose that job, or if you are going to lose that job, please make sure that you are saving somewhere, so that you know that even if I've lost this job, I'm going to start from somewhere.
Alright, the only word or the only thing that you need to know is that you are better than everybody else, right? And the only thing that matters is you, because everything around you is about you. So you need to appreciate the fact that you are the only Victoria in the world, and there will never be anybody who can do what you are doing. There will never be anybody who can smile as you do, who can look like you do, who can glow like you do. The moment you begin to appreciate these facts about you, it will be very easy for you to triumph on certain insecurities and certain things that you will encounter in your life. So appreciate the fact that you are the only one who can do that thing. Don't wait for another person to come and push you. You can do it. Why? Because what you carry within you is greater than what you think you are. So don't feel bad. Don't think as though you can't do it. Don't think as though there's somebody who can do a better job than you can. You can do it. That's the only thing you need to know, because if you think that you can, then you can. If you think that you can't, you will not.
All right. Thank you so much, Queens and King. A quick quote, Elizabeth.
Think about the glory of God as your main goal.
All right. Thank you so much. So to everybody, it's
a goodbye. We love to stay back. We gotta go.